Hi friends, this is the reading lesson for second grade. Today we are going to read a story called On One Wheel. We will read half of the story today and we'll read the other half tomorrow. So please make sure you have your booklets open to page 30, you have a pencil, and you have a highlighter. As we read today, we are going to highlight the key events, and then we will write 4 story events once we are done with this part. So go ahead and get your highlighters ready. We're going to first read paragraphs 1 through 6. As we are reading, make sure that you are highlighting what you find to be important and what you learn about this story. All right, here we go.
Extended Read 2. Remember to annotate as you read. On One Wheel by Carly Shuna. I tried to move, but it was too late. Thwack! The ball smacked me in the knee. Ouch! I groaned. Laughter echoed off the walls of the gym. I sighed. Sports are not my thing. Well, normal sports are not my thing anyway. Maybe making friends at my new school would be tougher than I thought. You're out, Casey, said Martha. Make room for those of us who can play. I leaned up against the wall and watched the rest of the game. During the next round, I actually dodged the ball, but then I stumbled and fell down. I heard giggles all around, and then I saw Ms. Perkins standing over me.
Okay, so Casey is struggling right now. They're in the gym class or PE class, and she's not doing so great, right? So hopefully you highlighted some key details. I'm going to show you what I would have highlighted. So it's a little more challenging sometimes to find things to highlight when you're reading a fiction story, but it's still important to be aware of what's going on. So I probably would highlight maybe making new friends at my school would be tougher than I thought. I would have also highlighted normal sports aren't my thing, because normal sports like maybe basketball is what she's talking about, but that leads me to believe that she can do something else that's maybe a different kind of sport. Now, we also see that she is dodging the ball. Okay, so it says, I actually dodged the ball, but then I stumbled and fell down. So poor Casey. We know in the first paragraph that she got smacked in the knee with the ball playing dodgeball, right? Okay, so Casey's having a really rough go right now. All right, we're going to keep on reading.
Casey, are you okay? She asked. My knee hurts, I said. Miss Perkins helped me up. Do you know where the nurse's office is? She asked. I shook my head. Martha, please take Casey to the nurse, said Miss Perkins.
All right, before we turn the page, because it gets kind of weird, let's go ahead and highlight in these paragraphs. So Casey ends up, her knee hurts, right? And she is going to go to the nurse. But since she seems to be new at this school, we learned that right here, she doesn't know where the nurse's office is. So the teacher says, Martha, please take Casey to the nurse. So she's going to go to the nurse. Let's see what happens next.
So, you're not a dodgeball player, said Martha as we walked down the hall. What are you good at? Well, I admitted, I'm just not very good at normal sports. Martha snorted. That's for sure, she said.
Oh, Martha doesn't seem so kind, does she? So Casey again says, I'm just not good at normal sports. So maybe you highlighted that. And Martha asks her, like, what are you good at? Okay. Let's keep going. We're going to read 15 through 19.
The nurse put an ice pack on my knee and told me to lie down. I stared at the ceiling and remembered what Martha had said in the hallway. How was I going to make friends if I couldn't even play the sports we did in gym class? Mom, I said as I got into the car later, I can't do anything. What do you mean? Asked Mom. Martha says I can't play dodgeball. She's kind of right.
Okay. So now, as Casey's laying down in the nurse's office, she is really thinking, how is she ever going to make friends? Oops. And maybe if you've ever been at a new school, you might be able to know what Martha or what Casey's feeling like, or even in a class that doesn't have anyone you know. Sometimes it's hard to make friends, especially when there's people like Martha that aren't being super nice about it, right? Okay, so she also tells her, she gets into the car, Casey does later, and she says, I can't do anything. And her mom's like, well, what do you mean? And she said, Martha says, I can't play dodgeball. And she's kind of right. Now, before we keep reading, I want you to think, does that matter? Does it matter if Casey can't play dodgeball? Does everybody have to be good at every single thing? I hope you're saying no. All right, let's see what words of wisdom Casey's mom has.
Mom frowned. Sweetie, you can do lots of things. Not dodgeball. Dodgeball takes practice, said Mom. You're good at lots of things. You can sing, you can fold origami, and you can unicycle. I looked at Mom. I said. You're the only kid at Unicycle Club who can wheel walk, Mom added. You're better than the grown-ups.
All right, so here's where we are going to stop reading for today, but we learned a lot about Casey in this little tiny section. So her mom reminds her, like good moms do, that you're good at a lot of things. You can sing, you can fold origami, which is like folding things out of paper, and you can unicycle. Do you guys know what a unicycle is? So a unicycle is a bike that just has one wheel, which we're going to see on the next pages. So if you're curious, you can look really quick. And then her mom says, also, you're the only kid at Unicycle Club who can wheel walk. You're better than the grown-ups. So the mom did a really good job of reminding Casey that even if she's not good at dodgeball, she's good at a lot of other things. And now, we will learn what wheel walk is when we read this story tomorrow. But for now, we're going to stop there and we're going to write some story events. So go ahead and put your highlighters down, grab your pencils, and we will start writing our story events. So on back to page 30, we are going to write story event number 1. So start by saying story event 1. Okay, so this is for paragraphs 1 through 6. Now, we didn't highlight a whole lot, but basically, if you look at this picture, we know what is happening, right? We know that the other students are laughing at Casey because what? Because she can't play dodgeball. And if you've ever had people laugh at you before, you know that this is tough, right? It kind of just makes my heart hurt. So we'll write the other students laugh at Casey. Remember to capitalize Casey because it's a name, because she can't play dodgeball. All right, so story event 1, we know the kids are laughing at Casey because she's not good at playing dodgeball. If you need to pause the video and continue writing, please do so. All right.
Me.
Story event 2, we'll write on page 31. And story event 2, this is for paragraphs 7 and then through 14, which is on the other page. So we know that Casey falls down and Martha has to take her to the nurse. And then remember, as they're walking, Casey again says, Martha's like, well, what are you good at? And Casey says, well, I'm just not good at normal sports, right? So if we were to write one sentence, we probably don't need to say that her knee hurts and that Martha's taking Casey to the nurse. But it's probably more important to say that Casey tells Martha that she's not very good at normal sports. And they keep saying normal sports. So we knew that something was coming about maybe an abnormal sport, something that's not totally normal, which could lead us to believe maybe something with the unicycle, because remember her mom said she's really good at the unicycle. Okay, let's turn the page. Remember, if you need to pause the video to finish writing, go ahead. So on page 32, we're going to write story event 3. Now, you are going to write story event 3 and story event 4 on your own. So I'm going to put the paragraphs here. You don't have to write the paragraphs. I'm just doing it to help you. So story event 3 is going to be paragraphs 15 through 19. So starting right here and right here. So this is when Casey's starting to wonder, well, how am I going to make friends? And if she can't even play a normal sport. Okay, so go ahead and write that story event. And then when you're ready, you're going to write story event 4 on page 33. And this is for paragraphs 20 through 24. Again, you don't have to write that, but I'm just writing it so you know which ones to look at. So starting right up here and going to 24. So this is when her mom starts to remind her, Casey, even if you can't play dodgeball, first of all, it takes practice, but also you can do so many cool things, especially riding a unicycle. Okay, so write story event 3 on page 32, write story event 4 on page 33. Then you are going to read the sentence that you wrote for each of them on Canvas. You can also type it out if you'd rather do that. Remember, a story event is probably just one sentence. Look back at your highlights. Think of one sentence. If I was just going to read your sentence, what would I learn from that sentence about what we read? All right, friends, that is it for today's lesson. I'll see you later.